There is a list of penalties that were published with the tax procedures law. That's quite expansive. So I would do refer clients to really check those. The actual best practice on making sure you are fully in control of your corporate tax liability, corporate tax obligations, is preparation. Fundamentally, you need to prepare and plan, and you also need to start thinking about improving your internal accounting procedures so that you have control on the tax determinations, and of course your people must know how to really calculate the tax calculation. It's not a simple rate application on the profit. It does require a little bit of understanding. Otherwise, you may pay more tax than necessary, or you may pay less tax than necessary. And this may appear as under an audit if the tax authority will challenge your tax determination. So it's important for you to have insight, plan it properly, understand what impacts on the income and expense side are eligible under the tax law, and implement this properly in terms of your people, your process, and your IT systems. Well, the tax law was introduced with something called the General Anti-Avoidance Rule. The General Anti-Avoidance Rule is really a piece of legislation that allows the tax authority to make its own determinations on your tax liabilities in the event they find that there is a discrepancy they don't agree with. So there are administrative penalties for late filing. There are penalties associated with payments not made. But the GAR ruling and the GAR provisions in the tax legislation provide a blanket series of powers to the federal tax authorities to determine whether certain things have been done for the avoidance of tax liabilities, in other words, tax evasion, which can be quite substantial and is generally something companies should pay attention to, particularly if they are conducting changes to structures, if they are thinking about modifying the way they operate their business, which leads to some depression of any potential tax liability. And tax authority has significant powers to make their own judgments. Tax evasion is a criminal offense, and the tax authority will take these matters quite seriously. Of course, there is a tax procedures law in terms of the due process that will follow, but if they do find that there is an evasion of any tax liabilities, artificial manipulation, then it is of a criminal nature.